the sales in the winter, I think, are going to be a little different than in the spring, because we're hearing a lot of not quite ready until warm weather. So we're checking a lot of jobs out, but we're still selling probably 10% of the leads, and you'll get another 20% by the time we get some nice weather here.
So you've probably sold like 7 to 9 jobs in the past month.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I mean, that's a good start for sure. I mean, you're making way more back than you're spending.
Yes.
Which is
yes.
Good. What's the future look like in a perfect world, over the next month or two? What do you hope to do with this, from closed deals directly from this program? What do you suspect will happen?
Well, they're decent leads. I know that, because I talk to the salespeople and they say that the leads aren't getting 8 leads. They're not, calling 8 people. So I expect to sell about 30% of these leads. So if I get 100 leads, I expect to sell around 30 leads. That's, so in my perfect world, if the leads stay the same quality and I can keep upping what I spend, then if I want 100 leads and sell 30 jobs, and that's what I'll do. If I want 5,000 leads and sell 30% of them, then that's the ideal way to do it, is keep building and building until you're rocking it.
It says the host has asked you to start your video. Okay. Zoom would like to access your camera. Okay.
Hey,
hello.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
Nice to meet you finally.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, just got home, doing a video chat with you.
Nice, man. Well, let's just start from the beginning, and we'll talk for, whatever. We'll just have a conversation, and that'll be it.
Awesome.
Are you cool with me recording this?
Yeah, if you want.
Okay, great. So tell me how it is that we met. How'd you come across my stuff?
I've been looking into Facebook for a long time, and I've used a bunch of guys. And so it seems like every time I click on one, I get more. And I've tried a bunch of those that have, advertised to me, and you were one of them.
And so you clicked on my ad and we talked on the phone, and what was it that made you want to kind of work with me?
I've used some other guys in the past. I liked how you were going to make it on my Facebook page instead of just making something on your own. And then if I ever got, done with you, I lose everything. That was one thing. And I've tried a lot of different guys, and they haven't done that good, or I wouldn't keep looking into somebody else. Yeah. So that was one reason, because I've tried so many guys. I figured I'd try you too.
Sweet. So what was going on in your business prior to working with me, in terms of, I mean, I know it was like right before hiring me, it was, the dead of winter really. So yeah, you weren't really doing much business there, but
no, I weren't doing much business. I can promise you that. But I had 2 different guys working on campaigns. Mm-hmm. So just wasn't, I had one guy, and he worked for 3 months during the winter, and I think I got leads that were $180, $200, and weren't really that good of leads. Mm-hmm. So I was still spending money, just weren't getting much.
Yeah, I'm actually, when I got into your Facebook account and started building my thing, I saw what had been built for you in the past, and I actually recognized those ads as one of my competitors. And it was interesting to see how they set it up, and not trying to, blow smoke up my own ass or anything, but it was pretty alarming how basic they'd set it up, and how they just didn't do some of the things that would have made it so much more effective. It was weird.
I was assuming they weren't very good, because I said over and over I didn't like the gimmicky type ads that they were running, And I told them they're going to have to fix something because I'm getting, maybe a lead every week and a half. And then they're expensive by the time and I said, you're gonna have to fix something. I did that for 3 months. You're gonna have to fix something. You're gonna have to fix something. And then I'm gonna have to fire you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in March now, like halfway through March. We've been working together for over a month.
Yeah, I think it's pretty close to a month.
What's the last 30 days been like for you since working with me?
It's been pretty good. The leads are right around $40 to $60. It jumps up and down, obviously, because you'll be down to 40 and then it takes a little bit and then it might be up to 60. So it's been working pretty good. I've gotten, I think, 70 to 90 leads in that realm. Because I don't know exactly, because some come through phone calls and some send me, messages through Facebook, but they don't come directly through the program. So I think it's in that realm. So I'm happy with that.
How much have you closed?
The sales in the winter, I think, are going to be a little different than in the spring, because we're hearing a lot of not quite ready until warm weather. So we're checking a lot of jobs out, but we're still selling probably 10% of the leads, and you'll get another 20% by the time we get some nice weather here.
So you've probably sold like 7 to 9 jobs in the past month.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I mean, that's a good start for sure. I mean, you're making way more back than you're spending.
Yes.
Which is
yes.
Good. What's the future look like in a perfect world, over the next month or two? What do you hope to do with this, from closed deals directly from this program? What do you suspect will happen?
Well, they're decent leads. I know that, because I talk to the salespeople and they say that the leads aren't getting 8 leads. They're not, calling 8 people. So I expect to sell about 30% of these leads. So if I get 100 leads, I expect to sell around 30 leads. That's, so in my perfect world, if the leads stay the same quality and I can keep upping what I spend, then if I want 100 leads and sell 30 jobs, and that's what I'll do. If I want 5,000 leads and sell 30% of them, then that's the ideal way to do it, is keep building and building until you're rocking it.
You're really good at responding to comments on your ads that we're running for you. And I've said it to you before. I say it to all my clients. You can tell you're doing something right when you get a bunch of haters in the comments. Tell me what that experience has been like.
Well, I get a lot of haters. Yeah. And I've been doing roofing my whole life. My whole family does roofing. My grandfather started roofing. And so I have uncles that started, and then they taught their kids. And then I had cousins that I taught, and then they went out on their own. And so in my family, I would have to say 6 or 7 full-blown roofers that I talk to all the time. And so I know the haters because they're in my own family. And they want to brag, and they want to, I wouldn't do it that way. And that's charging this, so that's charging that. I go, listen, so I'm used to it. But it does dig deep, because I started roofing at like 15 years old. And so when somebody, hates on me, you want to just dig right back. And so I kind of try to hold myself from getting too crazy on that. But it's hard to just let them go when I feel that in my area, I'm the leading roofing expert. Yeah. And when I got somebody that's, looks scruffy and
like me.
Well, now these guys are like rough around
rougher than this.
And when they're telling me how it's done, and I damn well know, who are you? I've never heard of you.
Right.
And so Maine's a small state. and there's only so many roofers. Half my family does it. So that's probably a good 1/10 of the roofers right there. And so, and I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Please don't give me all of the how things are done, and you know, I don't have a harness on a guy, and watch out for OSHA. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be watching. I've been doing this for 25 years. I think I figured it out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
that's so funny.
I feel like saying, how many calls did you have last week?
Right.
Because I had 35.
Yeah.
How many did you have? What'd you have? 3?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't have 3, because you're doing it because they literally telling me they're doing it for $350 a square. That means you're desperate and broke.
Yep.
So those are 2 things you don't want in a roofing company.
Yeah. And if you're a homeowner, you don't want to hire the roofing company that charges $0 to do your roof, because you know they're cutting corners somewhere.
Even if they're not cutting corners, in their minds, how long are they going to be in business? What are you getting for a warranty? Yeah, you did a roof for $350. That thing's supposed to last for 50 years. So if that thing falls apart, falls off, crumbles up, I mean, nail placement was poor, you didn't tarp, you broke windows. I mean, what's it worth? In 10 years, you're redoing your roof. So we're not cheap. We're not $350 a square. We're more like $500 a square. But for your $500 a square, you can guarantee, my family's been doing this for, since 51. We're going to be there to fix it. And this guy that's, feels that he has to run his mouth online because he's got no work, he ain't going to be there very long.
Yeah, well, that's true. And I think what's interesting is that you're not the lowest guy in town price-wise. You're middle or even higher end, but you're still able to close the deals that are coming in from these leads.
Right, because the thing is if I come in and I go, hey, how's it going? I'll send you a quote. I have to be cheap because everybody's doing that. All the roofers are doing that here and everywhere else. And so if I talk to you for 2 seconds, you don't get, and I'm rough around the edges, and seems like, I just got off a bender. You're not going to sell that many jobs. And so they keep dropping their price. They keep dropping it, hoping, please just give me a job. I'll do it for, some beer money. And so that's who we're competing against. And so when we sit there for an hour, 2 hours, and tell you, this is what you're getting over here. And if they had quality, why wouldn't they talk about it? And they never talk about quality, and they don't sit with you. They don't spend any time with you. So if you want customer service and you want good quality, they started out with no customer service. So how much quality do they truly have? And so that's how we sell jobs. We sell jobs because we are going to put the nails where they belong. We spell that rate out, and we're going to make sure we hurricane nail in different areas, and we're going to make sure the rows are straight and tarping is good, and all the things that make a good roofer a good roofer.
Right. That's really interesting. So you actually spend some serious time with people.
Most estimates are 2 hours long.
Wow. How have you been doing that with COVID?
Well, the customers that don't want to sit with you for 2 hours don't get sat with, but most of them that are calling you, there's a small handful that, can you email me something? Can you do that? Then you spend 2 hours talking on the phone.
Right. But you're spending.
We're not going to sell one. We're not going to sell one job at $500 a square when you got 3 other guys at $350, unless you can convince them that we have the quality and they don't.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to be a fly on the wall when you're making those sales call. When you're actually sitting with people, it'd probably be really interesting.
Well, I've done this for a long time, and listen, I started at 15, started my own company at 19. So I was that guy. That went in and said, I'm nervous. I don't know how to sell. So let me just email you something, or let me just hand you a piece of paper. I've been that guy. Mm-hmm. And so it didn't take me long to figure out that if I can't convince you that I'm doing quality, then my price can't reflect that quality. And so I have to, I've taken sales courses and stuff to kind of, to know when to say it and how to say it and be comfortable in your own skin. But I know for a fact, if it's all based on dropping off proposals, then it's all based on price.
Right.
And if I don't want to do jobs for $350 a square. You're
Right.
literally constantly stealing from Peter to pay Paul. You're not successful. You're just dragging along. Did it for years. And I wasn't making good money and I wasn't very happy in it, but I knew that I could make it. And so I did all the things that I had to do over the last 25 years to be able to get $500 a square. And it's convincing homeowners that your quality is worth that extra money and that the other guys are struggling. And you don't want a company struggling because you are forced to cut corners and go fast and put the nails wherever you want. And then 10 years later, they're falling down, blowing off, and it's just not worth it.
That's interesting. I wonder if it would be interesting to run an ad put an ad in the mix that kind of mentioned those specific things.
It could. I don't know because I'm not the expert here. I don't know what people look for. I don't know how much they're willing to read. I don't know. Obviously we've had some good responses from people saying if I needed a roof, that's a good ad. I'd go with you. So we've had responses like that. So I'm assuming that some of our wording is right and it kind of explains it to them. But it could go to the next.
The most effective advertising, in my opinion, and from my experience, is long ad copy. It's the exact opposite of what people say. People are like, you need 2 lines, no more. No one reads anything. Well, no one that's going to hire you reads anything. Right? Like no one that's not going to hire you. Well, right. So the people that are going to read it are the ones that are going to hire you because they've emotionally invested in, they've already invested their time in reading. And then they get to the bottom of that long text that long ad copy that I write, and they're already like way closer to the finish line than they were prior to reading it. And that's, I think, in part why it's so effective. And then they click and then they fill out the questionnaire and then you get all the information. So hang on one second, my phone's ringing. If there's anything that you would change about what I'm doing, what would that be?
I really don't know. We've tried a bunch of different pictures. I do believe because I've had somebody else that was pretty good in the beginning, and he was between $40 and $60 too. And his were basically simple images of a roof you did. I think that grabs people's attention. Hey, this is a roof. If I take a picture from the ground, in my opinion, and somebody sees a house, it's a house. I mean, so it looks like a house. I don't know what I'm looking at, but scroll right by it. And so I think the pictures need to be from the roof until we've tried a bunch. Think that's working. All right. So I wouldn't change that. Obviously, there's diamonds in the rough sometimes. Well, wow, this picture looks great. And you got a great background and the sun was up and, so you try a bunch of those. The ad copy, I don't know. Your ad copy seems to be doing pretty good. People are commenting on it. I don't know about the other guy because he held it on his own. He had his own thing that it went to, his own little program. And so I never saw the ad copy, never saw comments. I didn't see anything because it wasn't on my page.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So the guy that did good kept it all to himself. Pretty much, I understand. I mean, if I figure it out how it works, maybe I don't want to use you anymore. I don't know. So he wanted to hoard it all to himself. And
what happened? Did it stop working very well? Is that what happened with him?
No, he had me around $40 a lead, and I was getting $20 leads from Angie's list.
Ow.
And so I'm spending $5,000 with him. He was $1,000 for his services and then my ad spend. But keep in mind, I don't know. One of the things I didn't like is I'd go 3 days without a lead. I've been here for 30 days. I remember
you telling me about that guy. And then you would call him up and he would like put more money in and you're
right. So I know for a fact I gave him the money for him and ad spend.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
So it was $5,000. So $4,000 to ad spend. But because it's not on my page, I got no idea where the ad spend's going.
Right.
I fully believe that we're going to get our numbers way lower in the good season because we're in the winter. Yeah. So I think that, I'd call him up after 3 days. Hey, I'm not getting any leads. And within hours, I'm getting I'm getting leads. So for the rest of that day, I get 2 or 3 leads.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious what he did was use more of the money that he had pocketed for your ad spend.
Well, if I'm spending $5,000 a month, 1,000's his. So
Yeah.
$4,000, it doesn't take much if you keep me happy. And then at the end of the month, you got an extra grand kicking around and I'm still happy. And you can do whatever you want with it.
Well, right. Well, that's why you should never pay people for the ad spend up front.
Yeah, but he was one of the very first guys that I
Oh,
hired.
I'm not saying that
Right.
you should have known better. I'm just saying most people do what you did. That's what a lot of companies do. They collect the ad spend up front as well. And
He
they
wasn't
do.
the only, there was a lot, there's been a few guys that have done it that way.
Mhm.
And I don't like doing it that way. Obviously, I used them for a couple months, but the reason I switched, because $40 is fine. And when I say $40, his 1,000 was in that. So the whole 5,000, I broke it down, and the leads come through email. It's not that complicated. I didn't have the system, so I couldn't check it that way.
Mhm.
But I would keep all the emails that at the end of the month, I would go in, punch in whatever it was coming through, and I count them out.
Mhm.
And I'd count them, they were around $40.
Yeah.
It jumped to 60. So I the first month, I think it was 40. The second month was 60. And I said, well, why did we jump up so high? It was still in the middle of the summer.
Mm.
And so I said, well, to be honest with you, you're the first guy I've hired, or one of the first. So I don't know what's out there, and I'd like to find out.
Mm.
And I said, Angie's lists are about $20 a piece, because I counted them up too. And I said, it doesn't make me sense that I'm spending $1,600 with Angie's list and I'm getting $20 leads. I'm spending $5,000 with you and I'm getting $60 leads.
Yeah.
So I put the 5,000 I was giving him into Angie's list. But
What happened?
It wasn't good. It wasn't good, because I think what happens with Angie's list is let's say I got 5 guys that buy the leads in my area.
Mhm.
Okay. And they're $20 leads,
Mhm.
but they don't want to sell $20 leads. They want to sell $80 leads.
Mhm.
So even though we're getting them, because I got to give them to someone,
Right.
they say I got all this space left according to our algorithm. And so the algorithm says, well, you're getting these leads because we got no one else to give them to, and we have to give them to you. But we want 5 more people on board. Now you're not getting $20 leads, you're getting $80 leads. So what happened was they said they had $5,000 left in the algorithm, is how their system works.
Mhm.
So I spent the $5,000 and my leads went up to about $70 a lead.
It makes no sense.
So all they truly did was say, we don't want to sell $20 leads. There's $5,000 left to get us in the prime point we're supposed to be. And so I signed a contract for that.
Mhm.
So I'm arguing with them like steady. I'm like, you went from $20 leads to $70 leads.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm spending the same amount. I mean, I'm spending, I went
More
from
and getting the
1,600,
same amount.
same amount, or close. It was
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Usually, then they want to talk to me about ROIs and are you making money? And I go, you're not fucking listening to me and you're pissing me off. I said, you're going round and round and round. I said, you sold me leads for 20. And based on that, I said, I'll spend $5,000, but I still want the $20 leads.
Mhm.
And I understand seasonal and all this. So I did the 5,000. I think it was for another 2 months. It was gross. It was terrible. Then I got into the winter and I go, I'm not spending 5,000 a month with you guys. I said, I'll just cancel you and go back to Facebook. And well, send me the bills. That's good. I like them. They'll go right where they belong, in the trash. I said, you lied to me because you told me, I said, I'm going to be upset if I don't keep the same realm. I'm only going to 5,000 because you're saying there's more leads to be had. But now knowing what happened, they didn't have more leads.
Mhm.
What they had was more space according to what they want to sell the leads for.
Right.
And that was 5,000. So I'm back down to 2,500. But this winter, I'm $100 a lead. I backed it to 2,500 and I'm getting about 25 leads.
Yeah.
That's not very good.
Yeah. What I think Angie's List and HomeAdvisor and the other lead companies do is they they do it. They got the drug dealer strategy going. They get you hooked for something for free. Here, try a little sip of this. And then you're coming scratching at the door the next day and they go, oh, you want this? $80. You know, and you're like, well, I need it. So I'll pay it. And they get people hooked, and then they just titrate up the prices. And before you know it, you're spending $120 a lead, and then they're selling the same lead to 10 people. And everyone's like, and then you're dropping your prices. So your margins go to shit. Well, you're not dropping your prices because you're smart, right. But most people, but really just have a bunch of guys who get addicted to Angie's List HomeAdvisor. They're all fighting over they're all racing to the bottom on prices. They kill their margins, and it's a disaster.
Right. Well, HomeAdvisor, I'll never use again. They want an automatic $80 a lead automatically. And then they want to do background checks. And I'm like, listen, I ain't going to do a whole lot of jumping through hoops. I mean, you're giving me a lead and I'm giving you money.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to do
end of transaction.
And then they want to know who's working for. No, I'm not doing all this stuff. Yeah. And so, but Angie's List seemed a little better in the aspect of you didn't have to jump through a million hoops. I could set up a system. It was fairly easy. I started out at $800. So I didn't keep jumping my money without results. Mm-hmm. So I started with 800. It was right around $20 to $30 a lead. So I did that for 2 months. Then I jumped to 1,600. They still stayed right around $20 to $30 a lead. Mm-hmm. Then I called back and I was gonna up it again because it's still working. And that's when they said, well, just take what's left. What's left is $5,000. And mm-hmm. I'm like, well, are you going to keep the same numbers? Oh, yeah. Of course you're going to keep the same numbers. And so they didn't keep the same numbers. They weren't even in the realm. But I spent in that 5 to 6 months, I'm jumping this constantly. I'm spending a lot of time and energy to get 200 reviews on Angie's List.
Right.
So now
that's another way to get you hooked.
Yeah. So how do you drop it now? When I do get a lead from Angie's List, they rant and rave about how awesome my reviews are. Everyone else got about 30 to 50 reviews, and I got 260. Mm-hmm. So when I get an Angie's List, I almost get every sale. So right. Even though I'm paying $100 a lead, you kind of take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, how much it is per lead is less important than how much it is per new client. So
right, because I had another company on Facebook, and I paid around $100 a lead, didn't sell one job. And my guys are trained professionals that sell 30% and didn't sell one job.
Right.
So
something
they
going
were terrible.
On there.
They were terrible leads. I don't know what they were offering because they were on their own platform. So I didn't get to see anything. I didn't get to see what they were running for leads. For all I know, they could be running leads that say free trip. Get an estimate, you can have a free trip. I don't know because I didn't sell any jobs.
There's a guy out there that's running free trip ads. Have you heard about them?
It's probably this guy.
Oh, wait. Was this the guy that gets you scheduled appointments?
Pre-scheduled appointments.
Yeah. Roofmasters.
He does the phone calls, and that's what he said sounded good. I don't think it sounds good because I'd rather just book my own appointments. But
was this Roofmasters?
It was Roofmasters.
Yeah.
And so he said, well, we'll get the leads and they'll all be pre-qualified. And so they'll be really good leads. They weren't really good leads. They were actually pretty piss poor leads.
Well, because they're people that want to get that. They're the kind of, like, he was getting you leads from people that are dumb enough to buy timeshares, get sucked into a timeshare that they never, like, that's the leads he was getting.
Or worse, like those people that actually think if I get an estimate, I'm getting something for free. Right. I don't even truly have to do the roof.
Right. As long as it's something free, they want it.
Right. Because I'm telling you, the leads were all poor. And poor either means I don't have any money, I had no intentions of doing my roof, or something in that realm. And so that's what all the leads were.
Yeah.
And I paid $3,000. I got about 30, and didn't sell one job.
Yeah, that's funny. That reminds me, I was at a concert once with my brother, and there were these people in front of us, and they were just clearly out of place. They were like in the front row, and they were just wacky people. And we were like, what did you win these from off a radio station or something? And it's like the same kind of, they're probably the kind of people that would have filled out that form.
Yeah, because I've in the past to try to drum up work, I've done, where you have an opening sale and it's giveaways and stuff. Yeah. And everybody that showed up had no intentions of getting their roof done.
Right. Well, it's the whole Groupon thing. I mean, restaurants all bought into the Groupon thing, but really, it's not even like they were getting customers who were going to be long-term customers. All they were getting were people looking for the half-off shrimp tacos. They weren't actually getting people that were going to come back at full price.
Right. So I'm assuming that they were running some ads like that. Gimmicky, could win a free trip or, something because that's what it felt like. It felt like, because I talked to the salespeople and I'm like, why aren't you selling any jobs? Yeah. You guys sell jobs all the time. Why aren't you selling any of these jobs? And I was still getting other leads from Angi's list and things. Mm-hmm. But when they come from RoofX, because they say RoofX on them. Yeah. And so I said, keep track of these because they're expensive. Yeah. And week after week, nope, they're not that good. Half of them aren't showing up, is what they said. Half of the people don't show up to the appointment. Mm. So I get there, there's no one there. Mm. Or I'll call to confirm, nobody answers the phone. Right. So I said, 15 of them are gone already just from that. Yeah. So somebody goes, oh, I want a free trip. They fill out some paperwork and then they kind of go, well, I don't really want my roof fixed. So they just blow you off.
I wonder if anyone's ever actually getting a free trip. Can we find that out? That'd be interesting to find out.
When I first went to him, he said something like this. He said, we are partnered with somebody that we can give because we can give free stays. Mm-hmm. So free accommodations, not free everything. Right. But if you fly to Florida or Vegas or whatever, I think it was Vegas, all the trips were Vegas, I believe. And he said he partnered with somebody there where they can take rooms that are empty and we can give them away. Mm. Okay. So I think all you were truly getting in this gimmick was if you fly to Vegas, we'll give you a free room for 3 days.
Free room so you can spend all your money on the slot machines in the lobby.
Right. And so that's all it truly was. So if they were marketing as a free trip, it's truly only marketing a free 3-night stay.
Right.
And we all know Vegas will give 3 nights to just about anybody. Uh-huh. And we know that the airfare is the most expensive part in eating. And so if you're not getting, it's not a free trip.
Right.
And so
that's a trip you'll take in 3 days.
So he mentioned something like that to me.
That's interesting.
And so I think that's the gimmick he was using.
It's crazy how much different stuff there is out there. How many different things people are trying to get leads and to help roofing contractors. What other kind of weird?
Well, I can tell you right now, what's tough with the roofing industry is for years and years and years, it was phone book only. Uh-huh. That's it. If you got into the phone book and you put a full page ad in there, you were successful.
Right.
Okay. That's it. There was nothing else. Okay. Newspaper. Right. Okay. My father still uses newspaper. Okay. And he might spend $30 a week in two or three lines in a newspaper.
Gets a couple clients from it.
And he makes himself a little bit of money and he's old. And so he's like, because he don't do roofing anymore. It's all jacking because he switched over because he did jacking and roofing. And, he can, make some money doing jacking and he gets a few calls. Yeah. But now I've had to figure it out because the phone book's been gone for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And so you got to figure stuff out. And Google ads I've done, but they run about $100 too. And the problem is when you go to Facebook and you see me, you don't see anyone else. So if you fill out my form, you were curious, you're probably getting a roof. But when you go to Google, there's 10 guys.
Mhm.
So you probably called all those guys.
Yeah.
And so Facebook kind of gives you an advantage in the aspect of they weren't really looking for you. And so they didn't call a bunch of guys. And if they like what you said and they like when you get to the job site, yeah, they might have gotten a couple other estimates, but they're not getting a ton. If they go to Angie's List or if they go to HomeAdvisor's blowing them emails up. And so then they kind of feel obligated. Well, I got to have this guy. So you got 15 guys going.
Yeah.
Google's kind of the same way. I spend about $100 a decent lead, but they're getting a lot of estimates. That's kind of why I put way more of my money into Facebook. Angie's List I did because it was the first time I ever used it, and I was getting $20 leads.
Yeah, well, you can't beat that.
Right. And but I'm not getting those anymore. But I spent a lot of time and energy to get all my customers to put reviews on there.
I know. Well, that's how that's what they say to you. Like, if you stop advertising with us, we're going to shut your profile down. All your reviews you got are going to disappear.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's kind of a shitty thing.
I got them I told them, I don't want $5,000. I said, I don't think you had 5,000 when you sold it to me.
Yeah.
I think what you did was you took that much money into your system, and now all the people are paying more. So you didn't just screw me. There's probably 8 guys that are in this system, and maybe 10. 10's probably an easier number. And so all you really did is he was probably getting $20 leads too. But when I put that $5,000 in there, now he's not. I did get more leads, mind you. I mean, it didn't stay the exact same amount of leads, but
the cost per lead doubled.
Yeah. And so what you did is you didn't just double my leads. You doubled all the other 10 people.
Well, essentially what they did was they were basically auctioning off the leads and saying, all right, this guy, David McCaig, he's willing to put in 5,000. He's our highest bidder. We're going to increase the price of all the leads. We're going to give him more of them.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be, you know what I mean? So,
right. Well, because I think
it's a supply and demand thing.
Right. I think no matter what, Angie's List has a certain amount that comes in. That's it. So they advertise on Google, and more of their things, I think, are the organic. Mm-hmm. Well, the organics are already there. It's not like they got to spend more money to get there. They're already there. Yeah. And so if I'm getting 500 leads coming in, and I have 10 people spending $800, because I believe that most people are spending $800, then everybody gets their portion based on $800.
Right.
They get a portion. Dave was spending $1,600, so we get a bigger portion.
Yeah.
Now Dave's spending $5,000, but I'm still only getting this. They only still get the same amount of leads. They're not getting more leads.
Right.
And so now this guy spent $800, and this literally 10 guys, that's $8,000. Dave's spending $5,000. So these guys spent $8,000. Dave spends $5,000. But now everybody gets their portion. But the portion, now you're spending $80 a lead.
Well, right, because it's supply and demand. They have a very finite supply, and so if the demand is super high because more people are putting in more money, they're going to have to make the leads more expensive in order to, or else there's going to be a shortage.
There got to be.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, I'm spending $5,000, and I did my research before I came crushing down on them with a blow. Yeah. I said, I've punched in fake leads 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. And I don't show up on the list. Uh-huh. I said, I'm spending $5,000. I already know all your other guys are spending $800 because I know how roofers work. Because they didn't tell me I could spend $5 at first. I said, how much does it cost to get onto Angie's List? $800. Mm-hmm. But I'm a smart guy, so I said, if I spend more, do I get more leads? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I spent 16. But none of the other roofers are doing that. I can almost guarantee it. Mm-hmm. And so they're spending $800. So I said, if I'm spending $5,000 and I put in a fake lead for Angie's List, so fake email, fake everything, but I make an email. I mean, I do my due diligence, and it shows you 3 roofers in your area. 3 times I did it, and I didn't show up on the list. Huh. I said, how do I not show up? Well, other roofers need leads too, they said.
Right.
And I said, you're right. I'm not paying $5,000 no more. Because you don't have, I said, you don't have $5,000 worth of leads. Yeah, we do. Oh, no, you don't. Not at $20 a lead. I said, so you got $5,000 worth of lead at $80 a lead. I said, but you don't have it at 20. And so all I did is make every asshole, including myself, pay more.
Yeah.
And so I said 2,500, which 2,500, I should have just stuck with 16, but, and then they're sending me bills telling me they're going to shut me off and everything. And I let them shut me right off.
Yeah.
Then they got the picture. I go, I'm not paying $5,000.
Yeah.
But I'll pay 2,500.
Yeah. Right.
And they dropped it to 2,500, even though I had a contract and everything. So now I'm paying 20.
You won the game of chicken there. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I literally probably wasn't going to cancel them, but 5,000, because 5,000 is a lot of money for, I mean, they weren't even giving me $100 leads that went at $5,000. Yeah. I mean, they
and you were still running, and they were still leads that were sold to more people than just you.
Yes. So
yeah, it's not even an exclusive lead.
No, it's not exclusive. I was paying well over 100 when I was at $5,000, and they weren't exclusive. And I already knew that I could get $40 to $60 leads on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know I got 260 reviews over here, guys, but I'm not paying that.
Yeah. And
they took my bluff and then dropped me to 2,500.
Well, that's good. That's good.
So that's my story.
That's a good story. I'm on the edge of my seat. Mainly because I don't fit in the chair anymore. But tell me what, and we don't have to stay on the call so much longer. I know you're busy and you've got dinner and family and whatever, but what do the next couple months look like from the leads from my system only, revenue wise? What do you, if you had to do a guess, what would that be like for you?
Well, I have full intentions of the more leads I get, the more money I'll spend. But just based on what I'm spending right now, about $150 a day, I feel that I could be right around $50 a lead. I think that's a good realm to be in. And I think I'll sell 30% of these jobs. So at 3 leads a day, I sell 1. And so if I sell 1 every single day on your system, I probably think I make $10,000 would be the average job. I make 30% on my jobs. So $3,000 to $4,000 a day profits.
Right. That's 300,000 in revenue a month. What is that? 90,000 in profit a month or something? Yeah.
Well, if you got
like
3,000 a day, 30 days,
yeah,
would be about 90. Yeah, about 90,000 profit a day, and that's what I plan on doing
per month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, but the thing is, I wouldn't stick at 150 a day.
You would up it.
I would up it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to make 90, why not make 180?
Well, when you started with me, it was $50.
Yeah.
And then I think it was only maybe less than a week where you texted me and you were like, all right, looks like it's rocking and rolling. Let's just pump it up to 150 a day. And then we did that. And then
I went to, did I jump to 100 first?
You might have gone to 100, then 150.
I think I did. Within a few days, I don't even think it was a week. Within a few days, I was getting at least 1 a day for 3 days straight. And I figured, okay, $50 a lead sounds about right to me, but I don't want 1 lead a day. So I said, let's try 100. I think we did, maybe a week. So now we're like 9 days in and we jumped it to 150.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I suspect that things will only get more. You'll see more volume with lower lead cost as the season opens up, as things open up and the weather gets nicer. So I've got a pretty positive outlook on things.
I think so too. I think the reason why the other guy that I first started with was getting around $40 a lead was in the middle of the best time of the year, it was in the summer. And so I think that's why we were hitting them numbers. And he did similar to what you're doing.
Yeah. Great
pictures of a roof on top of the roof, not down on the ground, and good copy. I don't know what his copy was because he never showed me and I didn't get to see it, but it's similar. And so I want to get to $20, $30 a lead, obviously. I mean, those seem like great numbers to me.
So
But
check this out. I just started running a campaign for a guy in Kent, Washington. And I started it on Friday. And he's got 30 leads since Friday. They're like $10 a lead, less than $10 a lead.
yeah,
Insane. He's freaking out. Doesn't know what to do with himself. Well, he knows what to do. He's got a bunch of salespeople already, but so he's just, they're all
what town was he in?
Kent, Washington, all the way on the West Coast.
Is it warm there? Washington on the West Coast doesn't sound warm. Doesn't that sound like Maine type weather?
Well, it's north. It's like the same plane you're on.
I was just trying to get whether he was in winter weather.
Let me tell you something. I think he's got a really big market, and I think there's just less roofing ads in his area. He's the first person I've ever worked with from the Washington state area.
Yeah.
I think, the homeowners around there just haven't seen Facebook ads for roofing like people on the East Coast. The East Coast is hot for roofing. And then as you go west, kind of trails off a little bit. I don't know.
Well, every house has to have a roof on it. So
it does. It's just,
they must be advertising in a different avenue somehow. I think some of the states that have billboards and stuff like that, I think that's a big market for them, billboards and
big highways.
Yeah. So because we're not allowed to have any billboards.
Right.
So we don't have billboards.
Right.
I do say that before I started doing Facebook in Maine, I looked at a bunch of competitors because obviously I don't see ads on when I look for roofing, besides ads to advertise for roofers. But I checked out all my major competitors. Some of them hadn't posted for 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So if I had to guess, you're not doing Facebook advertising if you're not posting it within 3 to 6 months.
Probably.
I mean, and the pictures on there. So I don't know how many people click on the Facebook page and actually view some stuff, but 0 people. Is that why?
Yeah.
Because their Facebook page looked terrible. I mean,
no one, never in your life will you call up one of your friends and be like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sitting on my sofa looking at a roofer's Facebook page." Like, it's just never going to happen. So
when somebody sees your ad, they click on it and fill some stuff out, but never go to your page.
Exactly.
Okay. Well,
but one of my clients who I just did an interview like this with earlier today, he's in Delaware. He didn't have a Facebook page before signing up with me in February, at the end of February, which is less than a month ago. And he went from getting 0 Facebook leads with 0 Facebook page to closing 11 deals in 3 weeks with the ads that I'm running for him. So, and it's not like he has a Facebook page full of amazing posts. I don't know if he's posted once since we started his page, because it's all about the ads.
Yeah, so it's possible that some of these competitors are advertising. I would just think that they would put a little more effort into their pages, but it's possible. But I do know that I've gained 15 to 20 followers.
Yeah. Yeah, every once in a while, I go into your account and anyone that likes your ads, I invite them to like the page.
Yeah, and I do too. So I have 400 followers. I don't know if that's big or not. I know a lot of my competitors, they've been, I keep an eye on it, and they're going up, 700 followers in a year. Come on. I don't believe that, but it's possible.
It doesn't matter anyway, because Zuckerberg wants to make money, and you can have 10,000 followers in your area on your Facebook page. And when you make a post on Facebook, about 36 people see it, because Zuckerberg wants you to pay for exposure. So he's severely limiting the viewership of any of your organic posts on your Facebook business page, because it's a pay-to-play system at this point. Right.
And it's kind of stupid, because if 400 people follow me, they follow me because maybe I need a roof someday. And if I do a post, you're constantly getting it, you're constantly reminded of me. But if you're not getting it, then it's kind of a waste of time and energy. I shut off my reviews on Facebook. And you know why? I shut them off?
Because you were getting fake reviews.
Haters.
Yeah.
Well, if I got haters, and trust me, if you'll write a post or you'll write, trying to rip me apart because a guy doesn't have a harness on, you'll do a review too.
Yeah. No, that was smart.
You guys are jealous.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Exactly.
Your haters are jealous.
100%.
Yeah, they don't have any work and they're totally upset about it, and they see you constantly. My cousin Mike does roofing. He started roofing for me, and I taught him how to roof, start his own company. So he's my cousin, so we have dinner with him occasionally, and he says, I keep seeing all your ads, and so haters, you're like, what, you're not doing good? What's
even
up?
Even family doesn't support.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the biggest, and we all do it. And my sister married someone, and I taught him how to roof. He owns his own roofing company. My cousin James does it. My cousin Dan does it. It just goes on and on.
You should
and
become
on.
a roofing consultant.
Yeah. There's no money in that.
Well, depends how you develop the business.
Yeah, I've been doing roofing my whole life, so
I could see you doing speeches. I could see you touring with talks for 10K a talk.
Yeah, well, that one might work all right, I guess. Seem to have this line right across my eyeballs.
Yeah, it's you're blessed.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So I guess we'll just tie it off with if you had to give a roofer that wasn't in your service area advice about whether or not they should hire me, what would you tell them?
I'd say it's definitely working for me. $50 a lead is way cheaper than I've ever had in Google ads or anything else. Matter of fact, I don't think Phone Book got you $50 leads. So I spent $20,000 for a full page ad in the Phone Book when it was big, and I didn't think that gave me $50 leads.
Interesting.
So definitely think you did a good job. It's only been a month. Sky's the limit. And if I was gonna talk to somebody that's never done it before, spend a couple $1,000 and try it out.
Cool. Awesome, man. Anything I can do for you before we hang up or when we hang up on your account or anything?
No, I think it's going good. I'd like to try a couple different things like you were talking about, because we never know. I mean, the write-up is working good right now. The script is working, but let's try a few more.
Would you be open to doing some videos of like actually like you talking?
Sure.
Because you'd be great on video. I can tell just by talking to you that I can kind of coach you through what to say. And then you can just run with it and just be yourself. You've got a great personality. The way you sound is like really cool, and you would just kill it. I mean, I could coach you through it and you would just know exactly what to do.
I was thinking about doing one on an actual job site where hey, I'm going to go through this job with you today. Say a few things about how long you've been in business and, proper tarping, and this is how we do it, and just kind of go through a job site, and you can kind of edit it. And so I'd be willing to do something like that as well.
Do that. Just shoot all the footage you can, be yourself, get some video, and then just send the whole mess of it to me, and I'll edit it for you, and we'll use it as an ad, either an ad that goes out to a cold audience, or we'll use it to retarget anyone that lands on your website and anyone that likes, comments, or shares your advertising. So we'll be able to follow them around with that. And that could be really cool. Kind of like I follow people around with my ads.
Yeah, I can do that.
Awesome. Man.
Obviously, I was waiting for some of them ads to be nice and warm out. Don't want to walk around and it's snowy and gray. It's pretty gray here right now. It's not really that nice.
Well, I would encourage you to just do one, even if it's not something we end up using, because it'll just be good practice in and of itself. I'll probably have a couple pointers for feedback. And then when you finally get out on a sunny, beautiful day, it'll just be a one-take success kind of thing.
Sure.
So do it because, could be cool.
Yeah.
And it might be great. It might just work.
Well, hopefully. You know, I've done commercials and all kinds of stuff. Did you look at my Facebook?
I did, but I did not, apparently not enough.
Did you see? I made a video about 15 years ago. So
I didn't see that far back.
The quality, no, I put it on.
I know, I'm just kidding.
The quality was not high def, and so it's a great ad.
Okay.
It's a great ad. You got to check it out.
Was it a TV ad?
TV ad.
Okay, maybe it's something we could use, because those kitschy kind of older, low budget TV commercials are actually really funny and fun.
But but what I was leading to is I never put myself on there because I'd never been a glory hound or you know, we have local, you know, TV commercials for furniture and stuff. The guy's always on there. We have Dave Deshane. If you looked him up in Maine, he always does his own commercials. Yeah. He looks like a monkey. He sounds like a monkey, and he actually has one commercial where somebody's dressed up in a raindrop, costume, and he goes, "Raindrop, get out of here!" And it's very stupid. But I always said to myself, I'm never going to be on a commercial. Come on. And so I made a commercial, and it looks like a, you know, the spots that they make for movies. Yeah. So it looks like a movie. You know, come see this movie, and it starts out, not all roofers are created equal, and it just and it goes bang, and it's like, you got to check it out. Let me know your thoughts on it.
I'm going to your page right now. When did you post it? Oh, it's a video, so I'll go look.
In my videos, but I made a bunch of videos too that I thought were funny, but I don't know how well they'll work.
Is it the one with the dragon through the roof?
Well, that's one I had made. I thought it was funny.
Which is the commercial?
You'll see in the beginning, it says, not all roofers are created equal.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Okay, that's cool. I can't wait to watch it.
But the qualities, because when I made that, I spent about 10 grand making it. Yeah. And so I had a vision in mind. That was my vision. I said over and over, I want film, because back then you didn't have high def. Right. I want film. Well, film is expensive, and we can only video so much stuff. And so I hired a crane to do the aerial shots, and because there was no drones back then. So I put a lot of time and energy in it, and then I don't get real crisp images. Yeah. And on your phone, that looks pretty decent. Yeah. But if you blow that up on a TV screen, it looks pretty bad. Pixelated. It looks pretty bad. You got to go shrunk down on a phone. Looks pretty good. Yeah. Well,
I watched a few seconds. The voiceover was awesome. Cool, man. Well, so in terms of not wanting to feel like the goofball in town that's like, raindrop, get out of here. You know, like you don't
look him up too.
Yeah, I will.
Dave Deshane Roofing in Maine. It's hilarious.
I'll tell you, when I say it would be cool if you were on video, it doesn't mean that I want you to do a commercial. It means I want you to appear as though you're just standing right across from someone in their front yard and just talking to them the way you would if you were running a lead. So like, you know, it would just be something like, "Hey guys, David McCaig here with Roofmasters. I've been roofing since I was 15 years old, and I was talking to someone earlier today, and they asked me a question about blah blah blah." And it's interesting because I think about it, like I get asked this question every single day, so I figured I'm gonna make a video about it. So here's the answer. So here's the question. Here's the answer. So if you ever need some help, and if you ever have asked this question of yourself or of you know, when you're thinking about hiring a roofer, you know, this is the answer. Here to help. Blah blah blah. Just very nonchalant. Pure value, not hire me, not screaming to hire you, but literally just giving them value, giving them information that's helpful. And that builds trust. And if you're going to hire a roofer and you're between 3 roofers and one of them taught you a bunch of shit, you're going to hire the one that taught you a bunch of shit. Right. You know,
I should do my best.
Yeah. I mean, you'll be good. I can tell. That's a no-brainer. Cool, man. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate this. I know you're busy.
No problem.
Whenever you need me, just shoot me a text.
Will do.
I'll be there.
Awesome, cool, man. Hey, let me know the feedback on some of those commercials, and definitely the raindrop commercials.
I'm gonna watch it right now.
Yeah, because my name's Dave McKeag and I do roofing. I get asked all the time, "Is this Dave Deshane?" No, it's not.
That maybe that's your first video. Hey, I'm Dave McKeag, not Dave Deshane.
Yeah. So yeah, give me some feedback. That's awesome. And
All right, man, I will.
talk to you soon.
Later, dude. Bye.
Awesome.